I'm a clinical psychologist, and I woke up today feeling pretty lower than I felt in a long time. As a trained professional, I thought it could be helpful to see what I actually do for myself in these kinds of situations, and also to see what I don't do. Things have changed a lot since I was young. The first thing that's changed is I don't fight it anymore. If my mood is a bit low, I don't try to suppress it. I don't try to amp myself up like caffeine or anything. I don't try to convince myself not to feel the way that I feel. I don't try to escape or cover it up by being on social media or whatever. Instead, I accept that it's there, and then I try to understand it. So the first thing I do is I step into what I call observer mode, and I observe my own experience. I go into my body and I look for where am I feeling this emotion I'm having, because emotions they're half thoughts and they're half body sensations. So I move my attention to my body and identify, oh yeah, I'm feeling this in my throat all the way down through my chest. Then I name it. Like, what is the emotion? You can do negative emotion differentiation as a way to help this. I can check in and go through and recognize, for me, that low mood is shame. Just the act of naming something can make us feel better. Shifting into that observer mode and finding the sensations can help get us out of our heads so we're not ruminating. Naming itself helps us feel a little more separated from the emotion. Then I want to try to understand, why is this emotion coming up now? What is it trying to teach me? What is it trying to tell me? I might look with my logical brain, like what logically has been going on very recently, today, yesterday, that could have triggered that to come up. Or else I might pull from compassion inquiry and internal family systems training, and I might see if this emotion had a voice, like what might it tell me? Or even ask the emotion, what are you trying to tell me? In this case, I'm aware of I'm taking on these new challenges and I'm trying to push myself, and it means that I am trying to learn from people that are much better than me and more experienced, and that I have that comparison experience of where I feel bad and they're really good. So that's hard for humans. It's hard for us to be bad. Engaging with where people are much better and you feel like you don't know things. We don't like that as humans. Then I try to figure out, what is this emotion of mine trying to accomplish? Experiences we have as humans are not accidents. We have them because they are trying to accomplish some kind of goal for us. They're trying to do something to help us. For this kind of shame, low mood, I realize that it's my defensive, collapse response. And what it's trying to do is to prevent me from trying. It wants me to conserve energy, remain safe, don't try, in order to protect myself from failing and being injured, essentially. We have this built into us. This is our collapse response. I understand it. I know where I feel it. I've named it. I have a sense of why it's come up. And I have the larger sense of what its purpose is, what it's trying to accomplish. Then I kind of bring other parts of my brain online. So I ask other parts of me, what other motivations do I have? Do I want to have this shame collapse response drive the bus, or just be a passenger on the bus? So when I check in, I realize, no, there's other parts of my brain, other parts of me that want me to keep going forward, that want me to pursue my goals, try to fulfill my potential. And at the same time, there is a part of me that sees the risks and is afraid of failing. If I let this shame and collapse part of me take over and make the decisions for me, it's going to tell me not to do anything. It's going to have me just kind of stay at home or something, maybe distract myself on the phone or with some kind of media. Or it's going to have me sit and kind of think about it, ruminate a bunch, think a lot. And all these things we know are going to make me feel worse. So I don't want to do those. Instead, this is another thing I do now that I didn't used to do. I allow the mood to be there, and then I stick to my schedule. I don't decide what to do based on how I'm feeling. I just know that I have my schedule of things to do for the day, and I just go ahead and do those things. So that's what I did. I just did the things that were on my schedule as I planned to do, even though I wasn't feeling great, and I basically just brought my mood along with me. Luckily, a lot of those things ended up being healthy things that tend to help mood and are the opposite of what tends to make us feel worse, which is sitting and ruminating, thinking about it a lot, trying to figure out why we're feeling bad for too long, or stopping the things that we would normally do. So instead, I just stuck to my schedule. I got outside, I walked around, I passed through nature on the way, I went to the gym, I did a muscle workout, I got my steps in, I did neurofeedback, more on that in future videos, did my grocery shopping, was outside, and then I've done some work, and the rest of my day is scheduled too, so I will just do the things I had planned. I will see where the mood goes. When I was younger, I thought I had to do things to change my mood. I had to make it be better, had to go away. But I've since learned that emotions aren't static, they shift and they change. And sometimes if we're too focused on them, then it actually kind of keeps them going. So instead, I'm allowing it to exist in the background and letting it take care of itself. Because if I check in tonight, my mood might be different. If I check in tomorrow, it might have shifted, it might have changed. If I check in a week, who knows what I'll be feeling? And I've learned that over the course of time. So one last one that I didn't mention in there is that I also spoke to my partner about how I was feeling. I received support and understanding, and that's a change from my younger years too, because I used to not tell people when I was feeling bad. I used to hide it, or I was sometimes surrounded myself with people who weren't encouraging, who were dismissive of what I was going through, or annoyed that I was feeling things that were inconvenient for them. I have surrounded myself these days with people who are kind and thoughtful and supportive. And I guess the final thing is like, what you're seeing is me in this mood, but I still care about warmth, I still care about connection. And so you kind of get the blending of that, right? Like I'm not hiding or suppressing that lower mood I have today. I'm allowing it to be there, but like I also still want to connect. So what you're seeing, I assume, is you're seeing the blending of what that's like for me. So this is authentic. Maybe it looks different than other videos, maybe it seems the same. I don't know, but I'm wanting to present authentically where I am and who I am. So I hope that's helpful. I'm Dr. Thomas Smithyman. I'm a clinical psychologist and I'm an author of this book here, Dating Without Fear, Overcome Social Anxiety and Connect. If you have any social anxiety, shame, self-doubt, this can be really helpful for you, especially if in the dating world, but the same stuff applies to social life, to work life. If you're interested, it's available paperback, Kindle, and also my favorite version, which is Audible. I read it, so I really like that one too. Okay, thanks.